So when I first started ministry, my brother in Christ and I would go do ministry outreach. So we'd go to like different neighborhoods, we'd go to different grocery stores, we'd go on the streets, like we would be knocking on doors. And it was my first time ever doing that, and I loved it. And he was like, let's do this, let's go, and I was the same way. I'm like, let's do this, let's go. But it was such a great learning experience for me. But I want to share what I learned in doing ministry outreach regarding, and especially the men. So, we would, speak to men. He would speak to men because, he's a bold man. He's a courageous man. So he's like, listen, however God leads him, he would speak to the men and, see where their head was at regarding God, regarding their walk with God, all that good stuff. So I noticed a pattern with the men. Every time, they would say, they're looking for a men's Bible study. They're looking to, come together with other men. I would be like, oh, that's cool. But then, I would be like, well, you're seeking a Bible study. There's none around here. Oh, why don't you start it? Like, listen, sometimes I'm just, you just have to address the elephant. I was like, why don't you start it? And every time the men would steer the conversation into, well, maybe I got this going on, I got that going on. But they were waiting for someone else to start what they were seeking. Now, not everyone is called to be, in any kind of, leadership. When it comes to, ministry. And I just want to say this, like, ministry is whatever God calls you to do for the kingdom. Your ministry could be the two neighbors, on your strip. Your ministry could be that one child that God calls you to pray for. However, if you're seeking something regarding, even Bible study, sometimes what you're seeking is who you are, so I want to say this because I want to encourage the men of God, because I know how the enemy works. And I know that he's come against so many men of God, whispering those lies about, who they are. They're not ready to start a Bible study. They're not ready to go forth with God. So I just want to encourage you because, even for me, like, I'm in deliverance ministry. I do not depend on myself when it comes to deliverance, because the power does not come from me. The power comes from God. I just show up. I'm like, Lord, have your way. But I just want to encourage more men of God to go forth and step forth as the Lord leads you. If you've been seeking a Bible study for a very long time, start it yourself and just give it to God. Just be like, Lord, listen, I'm starting this. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to give it to you. And I promise you, when you give it to God, when you submit it to God, God will show up for you, because, we're in the business of, winning souls back to the kingdom. So when you are ready to do the Lord's work, he will be there for you, and he will direct you and redirect you, as you go along. So nobody gets to this perfect place where they like figure it all out. We're always learning. It's always learning season with the Lord, always, all day, every day. So I just say this just to encourage you, like, don't wait for things to be so perfect, your schedule to be perfect. Make the time that you want to make to start whatever God leads you to start, but don't wait for somebody else to come and do it if God is calling you. So yeah, I just want to encourage the men of God. We need more men of God, more than ever, speaking boldly about the word of God. And even the ones that are speaking boldly now, encourage other men as well to speak boldly about God as well, and start where you are. Like, God will meet you exactly where you are. If all you know is Genesis 1, he will meet you there, and he'll show you the ropes. Like, y'all, lean on God. Lean not on your own understanding. God got you. So I just want to encourage the men of God, go forth as the Lord leads you. And I hope that this is, encouraging. If God has called you to post a video and you've been thinking about it for, 2 weeks, post a video, but God will meet you exactly where you are. I hope this blesses y'all, and I will see y'all on the next video. Bye-bye.